What up, people? Chris, back to do a boxing vid. Feels like I haven't done a boxing prediction video in a minute. I don't know how long it's been exactly, but it feels like it's been a while. I know I can't even recall, honestly, what the last boxing prediction video I did was. But yeah, these next couple weekends in September, first couple weekends lead off September, are pretty stacked, which is good. Makes up for August, which was pretty much a dead zone for good fights, or for fights in general. So it's good to get back on track for fight fans, boxing fans, that is. Got two separate cards, one on HBO and Showtime, one on HBO, one on Showtime. Of course, unfortunately, the Showtime card took a hit with Devin Alexander, Randall Bailey falling out because of a back injury to Bailey. But I'm still looking forward to that card. As far as the HBO card, you got Andre Ward taking on Chad Dawson. I'm sure you've already seen the 24/7 episode they did for it, which didn't really learn anything new about Dawson. Ward that we didn't already learn from Super 6 and that Countdown show, Boxing 360. I don't remember what the show was called on Showtime. But as for Dawson, I learned that he has a lot of kids with unique names. So he's got that going for him. And he's back training with John Diceman Scully. As for the fight, Ward coming off the win over Froch. The easier than I anticipated win over Froch. I think I actually picked Froch to win that fight. To win the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. Dawson coming off a majority decision in the rematch against Bernard Hopkins. And when they were talking about that fight on the 24/7, honestly, I completely forgot that fight took place. I'm sure I saw it. I must have seen it. But I don't remember anything about that fight whatsoever. So, I don't know what that says about that fight, but it means it probably was as uninteresting as I anticipated it to be. The crazy thing about this fight, though, is it could almost be two American undefeated fighters taking on one another. Something we haven't really seen since Devin Alexander versus Timothy Bradley, which that didn't turn out so well. But Dawson's only loss is to Pascal. That was by technical decision, and a lot of people think that if he wouldn't have got cut by a headbutt or whatever he got cut by, he might have won that fight late because he was really coming on strong against Pascal in the last two rounds of that fight. But it is what it is. It is interesting, I guess, noteworthy that Dawson is stepping down from light heavyweight to super middleweight to take this fight. Usually, in this instance, you would see Ward being the guy to step up in weight. So you got to give credit to Dawson for that. Who do I think is going to win? I favor Ward. I know Dawson is a naturally bigger guy. He's taller. He's got a much longer reach. Speed, I don't know if he's quite as fast as Ward, but if he's not really much slower. Both these guys are pretty quick. And I don't really know how this fight's going to be. I know that Dawson, at least from what I've gathered, is he's going to try to implement the jab a lot. Try to use that reach advantage against Ward. And it's not that I don't think Dawson's a good fighter. And I'm not the biggest Ward fan, just stylistically. I'm not a big fan of either of these guys, no disrespect either. But Ward's style isn't all that entertaining to myself as a fan. But I'm like a fan of like Alfredo Angulo and Sobrado Andrade, so yeah. But it doesn't mean I can't appreciate what he does in the ring. That said, honestly, I think Ward's just a better fighter. He's a better boxer. Both these guys are pretty much boxers, but I think Ward's just a better boxer. I think he's proven it in his wins. I look at the guys that Ward's beat in the Super 6 and the way he's done it. Sure you got some guys in there like Vika or whatever, but, and I'm like, okay, he beat those guys pretty impressively. Could Dawson have done the same? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know how Dawson would have fared against Kessler or Froch. Then look at the guys Dawson's beating. I'm like, yeah, I think I would have picked Ward to beat all those guys pretty easily as well. So it's pretty much what I'm going off. What I've seen from these guys. As far as the matchup, it's going to be competitive. I don't think this is going to be like a one-sided win for Ward. He's done that against Kessler and Froch where you were kind of surprised how easily he won those fights. At least I was personally. But I don't think it's going to be the case here because Dawson is a good fighter. But I do think Ward gets it done. I don't know how this fight's going to go. Stuff. I don't think it's going to be like entertaining. I don't think it's going to be contending for fight of the year. Not even fight of the night, in my opinion. But I do see Ward winning by a decision. That's pretty much it. As far as the co-main event of the night, And if I was making the card, I mean, you got to go with name value. But if I was putting the card together, this would be my main event. Antonio DeMarco taking on John Molina. Now that's a fight I can get excited for. Like watching both these guys fight. This is a little bit more my speed. What I like to watch. Two guys that are pretty much, I don't want to say they're pretty much primarily sluggers, brawlers. Molina is more so than DeMarco, but two guys just come to bring it. I mean, when have you seen either of those guys really in a boring fight, win or lose? As far as who I think to win, though, definitely got to favor DeMarco. I think it's going to be an all-out brawl. Although DeMarco, he's a little more skilled, I think, than Molina is. Although, as we saw against Linares, he's not obviously at that level of technical precise, but it didn't matter because he was able to take everything that Linares threw at him, keep marching forward, which is something Molina does as well. But the difference here is Molina has pretty much no head movement and has a really big head, and he gets hit in it a lot. I'm thinking back at that Hank Lundy fight. He was getting beat up in there, and if Lundy would have played it smart, he probably would have won that fight. Obviously, DeMarco doesn't fight anything like Hank Lundy, but I think he's just going to light Molina up. Molina is just too easy to hit, and he's got a solid chin, but not the best. I got to go with DeMarco in this one. I think it's going to be entertaining as hell while it lasts. I think it's going to be the fight of the night, and it has the potential to be a fight of the year type fight, depending on how it goes or how long it lasts. But go with DeMarco by stoppage. I'll be surprised if this fight makes it past 6 rounds. I hope it does, because I think it's going to be a good fight. But I don't know. I think DeMarco's going to really rip into Molina. Also on the HBO broadcast, I don't know if it's the first fight or the last fight, you got Vitaly Klitschko taking on Manuel Char. Honestly, outside of hearing about his name announced for this fight, I have never previously heard of Manuel Char. He's coming off a win over Taras Budenko, the well-known, well-established Taras Budenko, whereas Vitaly's coming off the win over Chisora, which seems like that fight was a while ago. I thought Vitaly had fought since then, but I guess not. I guess because Chisora had. But how do you not go with Klitschko? Both the Klitschko brothers. I mean, obviously you're going to go with the Klitschko brothers in pretty much every fight they're in. But look at their opponents. Klitschko, Vitaly's fighting Char, and I don't even know Vladimir. I know his opponent's name because I saw a press release. Never heard of the guy. He's taller than Vladimir. These guys stand no chance. Look at Char's resume, dude. It's like a usual suspects list of guys that heavyweights build their records on. I don't care if this guy's undefeated. I don't care if I've never seen him fight. He's not winning. Vitaly Klitschko, he's going to win by decision or is he going to win by stoppage? That's the only, and that's the only question I can't answer. Probably stoppage, but who knows. And as for the Showtime card, like I said, unfortunate that the Devin Alexander Bailey fight got postponed for the time being, but I'm still looking forward to the card because I'm a big fan of Lucas Matisse. This is probably one of my favorite fighters to watch in the sport at the moment. Definitely one of the top 5. Taking on Jose Olusegun. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. I've seen this guy fight once. I think it was his last fight. I believe it was on Showbox. It was on Showtime. Good fight. Good win. He looked really solid. And they said after that fight, he was the mandatory to fight, I believe, Eric Morales for the 140-pound title. Or he was going to fight for a 140-pound title, whichever title Morales was fighting for. And he didn't get that opportunity. I think Danny Garcia ended up getting it. I don't know. I just know that this Olusegun guy has been getting screwed time and time again by the WBC, IBF, WBA, one of those 3 organizations. I don't know exactly. But they've been screwing this guy over and over. He should have had a title shot over a year ago based on what they said over his last win. And he didn't get it. And now, instead of not getting the title shot, he's got to take on Lucas Matisse. What a terrible break. You didn't get the title, and now you got to beat Lucas Matisse to get a title shot. And that's not going to happen, in my opinion. Now, like I said, I was impressed what I saw from this guy, Olusegun, in his fight on Showbox, or Showtime, but not as impressed as I am every time I've seen Lucas Matisse fight, including the stoppage of Humberto Soto in his last fight, and the controversial / debatable losses to Devin Alexander and Zab Judah. I like Matisse. I think he's a better version of Marcos Maidana, and I think he should get the job done here. The only thing is, I don't know how this fight's going to play out because I've only seen one of Olusegun's fights, and I wasn't impressed, but I think Matisse has fought the higher level of opposition, and he's shown that he can hold his own, if not get the better of those guys. So I'm going to go with him. I'll go with the decision because I don't really know what kind of chin this guy has, so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But Lucas Matisse is a beast, dude. He can hit hard as hell. goes to the head and the body. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to stop this guy, but I'm going to give Usyk the benefit of the doubt and say it goes to decision. But either way, I'm going with Lucas Matisse. So that's it. On my radio show, Science of Violence, on Sundays, I usually only talk MMA now because there's another boxing show on the channel. But I might do an all boxing show this Sunday because there's so many fights. There's not really much going on in the world of MMA right now. And there's all these fights to talk about. Plus, next weekend, we got the Chavez-Martinez card as well as Lopez versus Canelo. So I might do an all boxing show this Sunday. So if you're interested, you can check that out. We'll see how that goes. But yeah. Till then, what are your guys' thoughts on the fights? Obviously, I imagine at this point you're probably more looking forward to the HBO card because the Showtime card fell apart. But which fight are you most anticipating? You know, is it DeMarco Molina, War Dawson, or Matisse fight? I would probably say DeMarco Molina for myself personally, just because style-wise, I think that's going to has potential to be the best fight of the night. But yeah, which fight are you looking forward to? Who do you see winning the fights I mentioned? What can you tell me about Manuel Chart? Anything? Have you seen him fight? Yeah, all that other stuff, whatever. Any other thoughts you guys have on these fights or, whatever in general. Links to scienceofviolence.com and Science of Violence on Facebook, as well as my Twitter in the information part of it as always. Till next time, maybe do a post-fight video on Sunday. We'll see how the fights goes. But until then, I'm out.